Hey up, good morning everybody, welcome back to the weekly watches and welcome back to Blu-Roy movies. How are we all doing? Hope we're doing alright, all had a good week and we're all ready to talk about some films. And guy's t-shirt looks a bit crumply, doesn't it? That's what happens when your wife leaves you unsupervised to get ready in the morning. Oh jeez. Oh well, never mind, we're not here to critique my dressing. We're here to talk about some films, so we'll crack on with that. But first of all, just once again, I think I said it last week, but thanks to everybody who got involved in last week's videos, gave me a like and left a comment, and I'm really happy and over the moon, sound like a footballer there, how these videos are going every week, getting some great feedback. You guys are keeping me busy in the comments, which I'm absolutely loving. Like, I might not have the most subscribers in the world, but I think I've got some of the best. Yeah, I've got a really good crew of folk, knowledgeable folk who always put me right when I'm talking crap, which is a good thing. So yeah, let's get on with this. Let's talk about some films, shall we? Right, I started off the week last Saturday morning, actually. The Land Unknown from 1957, directed by Virgil W. Vogel, starring Jack Mahoney, Shirley Patterson, William Reynolds, a cast I've not heard of any of them. And looking up on the internet, it seems like that this is the biggest film they've been in. So, yeah, pretty a B-list movie with a B-list cast, and you know what, I quite enjoyed it. It was alright. It was nothing special. It didn't blow me away at all, but it killed an hour and a half on a Saturday morning. Very 1950s, very B science fiction, but sometimes that's what you want, isn't it? It was about this group of people, three scientists and a lady reporter, who were working in Antarctica, where there'd been this crater discovered. On going in this crater, they descended into it and they discovered this prehistoric land where it was green and there was dinosaurs and there was all manners of things that'll kill you. There was some bloke living there, living there for years, who got lost on another expedition or something, yeah, and turned in quite loopy. It was all right, yeah. Like I say, it's what you'd expect from the time. A bloke dressed up as a T-Rex, which was very hokey but pretty endearing. You'd have real life lizards made to look bigger than they are, about 50 times bigger than they are. You had a toy helicopter flying around the screen. Yeah, totally hokey, but decent fun. Yeah, quite enjoyed it. The cast, for whatever unseasoned actors they may have been, they did a decent job. The main guy was this guy, you know how they spoke? He was like explaining the science, and you know how they explain it in these 50s films, like directly to the camera when they should be talking to each other. Yeah, very hokey, like I say. But it was alright, it was decent. Sam gave me that, so thanks, Sam, for putting that in my collection for me. And you know what, mate? I could see me watching it again sometime in the future. Yeah, good stuff. The Land Unknown. Next up, now I didn't watch The Killing, as it says on the cover. I actually watched another Kubrick film, Killer's Kiss, which was the film prior to this, and is on this disc as a special feature, which for me if you're a Kubrick fan, I'd say this is a must-have. Yeah, absolutely wonderful one for the collection. And now I have seen The Killing before, and The Killing I quite enjoyed, but Killer's Kiss was a new one from me. 1955, directed by Kubrick, obviously. Starring Jack Silvera, Jamie Smith, Irene Kane, and you can see Kubrick's still cutting his teeth in the directing world, but you know what? He's made a decent little noir film. This is all about Jamie Smith's character. He's sort of this washed-up boxer who is coming towards the end of his career, and he's now losing more fights than he wins. And he gets involved with Irene Kane, who works in this sort of nightclub, do a bit of singing and that, and the nightclub's sort of run by mobsters. They have like a rear window sort of living situation where he can see into her flat exactly what goes on. And one day he witnesses her getting abused by her mob boss and decides to go round and they'll elope together. So she decides to go round to the club and pick up her final settlement in wages, and they'll go off and live with his relatives somewhere. I can't remember exactly where now. In a case of mistaken identity, then the boxer's manager is murdered by the mob bosses because they don't want this girl to disappear because she's sort of been having an on and off relationship with the mob boss. And then it's these two trying to keep ahead of the mob so they can finally get out of the city. And yeah, like I say, it's not the best noir. The Killing is a more superior film, but it's decent. It's got some good set pieces. It's got a pretty fantastic, actually, rooftop chase scene, reminiscent to something like one of the Daniel Craig Bond films. Can't remember where they had a rooftop chase. Sort of reminiscent to that, and an absolutely great fight in a mannequin factory with limbs going everywhere from these dummies. Yeah, it's all right. Certainly, if you're a Kubrick fan, it should be one that you're watching, I'd have thought. Yeah, it's pretty decent stuff. I think I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. So, yeah, middle of the road. And now I think I'm only left with Kubrick's first film, Fear and Desire, which I've heard is not good, and I have got a copy. So I must get that watched. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, give it a watch, The Killing. And I followed that up with Terminator Genesis from 2015, directed by Alan Taylor, who also directed Thor: The Dark World, so not a lot to go on there. Starring Arnie, obviously, Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, Jai Courtney, yeah. Jason Clarke, I do like Jason Clarke, got a lot of time for Jason Clarke. Matt Smith's in it briefly, J.K. Simmons is in it briefly. And yeah, I'm pretty mixed on this film. I had seen it before. As an action film, it's pretty decent. There's good set pieces, good action film. But as a part of the Terminator world and universe, if you like, no, I'm not so sure. Crosses some lines for me that it shouldn't cross with Terminator. It pretty much eradicates the first film from history, which that's a crime for me. Terminator, the first Terminator, is one of my absolute favourites, and to bring this out and take it out the storyline for me is just a big no-no. Yeah, there's a lot of time travel in this, which tends to bend my brain a bit. I struggle with time travel films. Yeah, they do like hurt my head a little bit. Jason Clarke, I think he's the best part of it as John Connor, but making John Connor the bad guy, again, sort of crosses a line for me. Like John Connor, he's the leader of the resistance. He should be always heralded as a hero in Terminator films, in my opinion. And yeah, I think going down the route of making him the antagonist, that doesn't work for me. Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor. Now, Sarah Connor in the previous films, she always strikes me as quite a tall, statuesque woman, and Emilia Clarke quite diminutive. And I haven't looked it up, like the actual difference in the height between Linda Hamilton and Emilia Clarke, but I should think it's quite a difference, and it did quite take me out of it a little bit. Maybe that's me just being anal, but that's just the impression it did. As an actress, I don't mind Emilia Clarke. She's got the feistiness to be Sarah Connor, but like I say, just not the stature. For me, if I was to rank the Terminator series, I'd say this is the bottom. Jake Courtney's got the acting ability of that water bottle for me. A bit of Dalboy there. That water bottle, it's not a favourite of mine. Probably speaks very highly of me, but there you go. I haven't watched the 2019 film yet. I can't remember what it was called. Hang on. Dark Fate. I haven't watched Dark Fate yet, so I might get onto that this week, and maybe that'll be then my worst in the series so far. Yeah, good action film, terrible entrance into the Terminator universe. Now we're up to Sunday night, and Mrs. Blu-Roy's and I's movie night, and we cracked out the 4K of The Sixth Sense that we picked recently from CX. Yeah, 1999. M. Night Shyamalan, and maybe my top three Shyamalans: third, Sixth Sense third, Unbreakable second, Signs first. Yeah, I think I'd go that. Bruce Willis, obviously, bless him. Haley Joel Osment, Toni Collette, Olivia Williams, and yeah, just a classic film. That looks absolutely sparkling in 4K. The transfer of this, it's absolutely lovely. The detail on people's face, you can see every little line and every slight defect in Bruce Willis's face, and it is a shame about Bruce. He might not remember being in these films now, but we'll never forget Bruce. I just, love The Sixth Sense. I think most people have seen it. Creepy. It's an effective horror film. The kid in it, he does a good job. You see him now as an adult, actually. He don't look much different. He's still got the same face, but with a beard on. One good set pieces in it. Like I say, you've all seen it. Back in the day, I never saw the twist coming, and I enjoy watching it now just to see, like, and I can't believe that I did. It just, once you know, and it seems that obvious when you're watching it, but yeah, I never see it. And I think a lot of people didn't see it. People do say it. I think maybe they're like fibbing a bit. And I'm not going to say what it is. You may say, well, 1999, what's that make it? Yeah, it's a 26-year-old film, and you may say that everybody will know, but what you've got to remember is there's a new generation of film discoverers coming through. And if somebody's watching this, again, like a young lad, a young adult, watching it for the first time ever and don't know the twist, who am I to spoil it for them? Yeah, fill your boots, because, yeah, it's great, great stuff. The Sixth Sense, and I'm a Shyamalan fan, to be honest. There's not many of his I haven't liked. Brilliant stuff. Next up from 2013, and it took me ages to log this on bloody Letterboxd. Sweet Vengeance, also known as Sweet Water, which I think is most commonly called, because that's all it's under on Letterboxd, and it took me ages to find it. Directed by Logan Miller, with the lovely January Jones, Eduardo Noriega, Jason Isaacs, Ed Harris, great cast. And you know what? What a surprise this was. This was a fantastic modern Western. I can't believe that people don't talk about this more. It's 15 rated over here, which is a bit of a surprise to me because it's very brutal, it's very violent, it's very sexually graphic. I was shocked when I took out the player and saw it was only a 15. I'd have bet me bottom Blu-ray that it was an 18. Yeah, great stuff. This is about January Jones. Now, she's a rancher, not a rancher, a lot of more of a freeholder with her husband, Eduardo Noriega, who is Mexican and sort of like this mixed race couple, if you like, and that's frowned upon. Jason Isaac, he's this horrible preacher cum cult leader who's absolutely despicable character, is really chewing the scenery and is doing it quite superbly. He was brilliant in this film. It's worth watching it just for Jason Isaac's performance. He goes and has an argument with Eduardo Noriega and murders him and buries him. And it's then about January Jones along with Ed Harris, who is this fly of your pants type sheriff who will get things done by whatever means. It's about them going and getting their vengeance on Isaacs and this group in particular. Like the whole town is in this religious cult run by Isaac, and they're all horrible characters. They're all getting them to no good. Like the man who's in charge of the bank, he'll just do anything to rip off his customers. The guy who's got the general store, he waits for his lady customers to go in and try on any clothing that they're going to buy. Then he'll go around the side of the shop, and he's got a little spy hole that he looks through with his trousers round his ankles, and yeah, you can guess what he's up to. And the way he's dispatched by January Jones was absolutely brilliant. It's worth watching it just for that. Yeah, it's brutal. It's deliciously brutal. It's really good fun. It's a film I could see myself watching it over again a few times. It's that good. Yeah, I had a really good time with it. I really enjoyed it. It's maybe not the best film I've watched this week, but it's certainly, I think, the film I've enjoyed the most this week, if that makes sense. Yeah, really good stuff. If you like your westerns, particularly your modern day westerns that'll push a few boundaries, grab yourself a copy of that. I'm pretty sure you won't regret it. Anybody who's seen it, let me know down below, because yeah, brilliant stuff. And next, from 2023, directed by James Mangold, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, starring Harrison Ford, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mads Mikkelsen, Boyd Holbrook, Toby Jones, Antonio Banderas, and you even get a bit of Karen Allen back. What could be better than that? Hey, and this film, I think, is much derided and a first-time watch, and I went in with a low threshold, if you like. But you know what? I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was all right. It's certainly not a patch on the original trilogy. I'd say it's a step up from Crystal Skull, which I also enjoy. I don't hate it like some people. Yeah, I'd recommend, if like me, you put it off because of the reviews, give it a go. It follows the familiar tropes of the series where Indy is trying to find this thing, this dial of destiny that Archimedes discovered could control time, and he's pursued by former Nazi Mads Mikkelsen, who makes a great Gestapo type character. Really fits the role, Mads Mikkelsen, for that. It starts off in war times, and there's computer de-aging which didn't take me out of the film, to be honest. I thought it was done quite well. And then we jumped to the 70s, and yeah, them trying to track this down. I think it's more a vehicle for Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She's steps into the forefront a bit more than Indy, because as you can imagine, I don't know how old he must is he in his 80s? Harrison Ford is starting to get on, and no disrespect to him, but he's not capable of doing half the stunts and stuff like that he used to. So he's sort of let Waller-Bridge take the reins, which I didn't think was a bad thing. I enjoyed her. I have seen not all of them, but she was in Fleabag, and she's got a good timing with her lines, a good comedic timing, as you could imagine, being a comedian. Yeah, and the time travel stuff when they went back in time and met Archimedes, and it was in the middle of a siege. It's a complete CGI fest, as you can imagine, but I thought it was done quite well, and I was fully invested in that bit, fully invested in the story. I thought the action was good in it. Give it a go if you've not seen it. It's not terrible, which I was expecting. I think I rated this again on Letterboxd 3.5 stars, with a little above average. Yeah, quite like that, and again, see myself watching it again. And up next, from 1970, The Owl and the Pussycat, directed by Herbert Ross, starring Barbara Streisand and George Segal, who, with his glasses on, reminded me a lot of Walter White before he had his head shaved in Breaking Bad. Now, the crux of this, it's all about Barbara Streisand annoying the hell out of Ryan O'Neal, who is already engaged, to the point where opposites attract, and they fall in love. It was alright, it was decent, it was nothing special. They're this couple, they're neighbours, and they annoy each other. Segal, he's a book clerk, worker, stroke, aspiring writer who makes a lot of noise on his typewriter, which annoys Streisand, who is a failed actress come hooker, who annoys him because she keeps taking guys back to the flat in the middle of the night and making a lot of noise. And the two clash, and they end up being both evicted by their landlord and then having to try and find somewhere to live, and a real argumentative couple. But as is the like with these films, opposites attract, and they end up falling in love with each other. It's a rocky road. It's very snappy, very witty, the dialogue. It's a screwball comedy type premise, a latter-day screwball comedy, if you call a 70s film latter-day. Yeah, it's all right. It's nothing special. Segal was the best part of it for me. Streisand, she looked lovely, but a character I found borderline annoying, if you want. I know that might upset some people, but there you go. It's okay. I don't think I'd go back to it. I think the DVD's quite sought after, it's quite rare, so I'll probably move it on and replace it in the collection with something I will like. And next up, I watched What's Up Doc, again, 1972, Peter Bogdanovich, again with Barbara Streisand, Ryan O'Neal, and Madeline Kahn, who, in my opinion, was the best thing in this film. And like that, I don't know if there's some sort of universe goes on. Streisand is this character who annoys the hell out of this guy who's already engaged, to the point where they have a love-hate relationship and end up falling in love. Yeah, very, very similar ideas. And also in both films, Streisand eats raw carrots and has bubble baths, so whether that one's tipping a wink to that, I've no idea, and whether it carries on happening in any other films, I've no idea. Much learning, people, let me know down below. That again is the crux of this film, but it's also another screwball comedy with this crime heist caper thrown in, where there's 4 different characters with 4 different travel bags. They're exactly the same, and they've all got different things, and they get mixed up, as you can imagine. The plot is going to go. Ryan O'Neill, he's this geologist, and he's got his collection of rocks in his bag. Barbara, she's got a dirty knickers in her bag, and probably Stuart George in there somewhere as well. You've got this guy who's smuggling sensitive documents, who's got them in his bag, and you've got this rich lady staying in the hotel that they're all staying, who's got her jewels in her bag. And there's people after all the different bags, they all get mixed up. It got a bit confusing for me at one time as to which bag was in which set of hands at any time. I did get a phone call like a little way into this sort of family business, and that was sort of playing on my mind for a little bit while I was watching the film. So that is probably the reason why I lost track of what was going on a bit with the bags, and probably not the film's fault through being too convoluted by anything. But yeah, like that one, a decent film. Like that one, would I go back and watch it again? Maybe not. I think that is the more critically acclaimed film, but I think I enjoyed that one myself, maybe a smidge more. Yeah. But she is good though, Barbara. I'll give her a dues. I know in that one the intention of the character was to be annoying, which she did pull off. So kudos to her. She did the task that she was given, I suppose. Yeah, 2 screwball comedies. They're all right. I think if you want to watch a screwball comedy, you're better off with Capra or Hawks, whose dialogue are much more witty, and the lines are probably delivered better than them other 2. But that's just my opinion, man. Up next from 1967, and believe it or not, a first time watch. This is a film I should have seen years and years ago. It's one of them films that was probably on the TV all the time when I was a kid, and it just always passed me by, to be honest. Yeah, 1967. Directed by Robert Aldrich. What an all-star cast. Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, Charles Bronson, Jim Brown, John Cassavetes, who's probably actually the best thing about the film, George Kennedy, Robert Ryan, Telly Savalas, the ever wonderful Donald Sutherland, Robert Webber, to name a few. The list goes on and on and on. And yeah, like I say, I should have seen it years ago. I did really enjoy it. Lee Marvin, he's this major in the US Army, and they're based in Britain. As an officer, he'll bend the rules, he'll go against orders, which often lands him in trouble. And for his record, he gets the job of being in charge of 12, this dirty dozen soldiers that are all on death row in the army prison. What do they call an army prison? The glass house, I presume. They've all done, well, they said not they're all done on, they're all on death row, waiting to be hung, or got very long sentences for murder, for rape, for stealing, for, all sorts of heinous crimes. And they have the option under his command to go on a sort of suicide mission, and if they happen to survive it, their convictions will be quashed. As you can imagine, like with the real band of brigand characters there, they aren't. It doesn't go smoothly at all. they take a lot of bashing into shape before they can get in any shape, way or form a functionable unit that's going to go over to France ahead of D-Day to raid this chateau full of German officers and kill as many as they can in a ploy to disrupt the German chain of command. Yeah, decent film. You don't have to think about it too hard, which is good for me, as you guys are probably aware. Some great characters. I mean, John Cassavetes, as I say, brilliant. Donald Sutherland, he played like a big, tall, stupid, gormless soldier, and he didn't have much to say, but he just pulled it off so well. He'd been stood there open mouth looking gormless, and yeah, he was really good at it. It's 2.5 hours long. For me, it's a little over long. It didn't need to be that long. You don't get to the action for like 3/4 of the way into the film. It's a lot of training, which I think could have been cut down quite a bit. I do like Ernest Borgnine as well. He's always good at it. But it's a decent war action film that, like I say, should have seen years ago. I will probably go back to probably when I'm 90 or something, and don't say in a couple of years, you lot. Yeah, good stuff. So that was it for the week. Great stuff. And I'd say the highlight for the week was Sweet Vengeance, aka Sweetwater. Yeah, just had a ball of a time with that. Just, yeah, brilliant. Let me know down below you've seen any of these. I'm sure you've all seen Sixth Sense and stuff like that. But the other ones, let me know if you've seen them, what you think, if you agree with me, if you don't agree, which is what it's all about. It's all good. Give us a thumbs up if you've liked what I've done here today. Maybe think about subscribing if you want to hear more of this twaddle. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a good rest of your weekend. Take care. See you later. Ta-ra.